Okay, so welcome to the Pain-Free Taster, and in this taster session, you're going to have a real feel for what is the Pain-Free Method and what can it do for you. So I'm just going to guide you through what is it? What is the Pain-Free Method? What can it do for you? And as I said to anybody who missed at the beginning, if you have any questions, either ping me an email or write in the chat box, and I'm going to be addressing your questions at the end of the presentation. Okay, so the Pain-Free Method by myself, Althea Finch. And at the end of the presentation, I'll be giving everybody who wants it a gift of my pain-free guide. And this guide is an important first step about how to understand about your pain and condition. And there's a lot to it, but it's a very key factor of how to start shifting your pain, to understand it in the correct way so that it goes, so that it goes. So that's a gift I'll be giving at the end, and let me know if you want that. Just ping me an email if you'd like that gift, the pain-free guide, I call it. So just checking you're in the right place, if this is the right webinar for you or presentation for you. So you've been suffering a long time, you've got something that is just not going away, it's starting to affect your life, and you've tried everything, maybe natural things, maybe you've tried mainstream things, maybe you've had multiple tests from the doctors, maybe you've been to a specialist, it's not going away, and it may even be getting worse for you. You're in the right place if every morning you're waking up, or maybe it's waking up in the middle of the night and you're wondering, how on earth are you going to get through this day? How on earth are you going to get back to sleep? How on earth are you going to function? I mean, some people don't tell others what they're feeling. Maybe it's an internal thing that's not like visible, like a broken bone or something. And, they're really holding it all in themselves, wondering how you're going to, how you're going to manage today, another day of this, feeling like you're never going to be pain-free. Most people who have long-term chronic pain, it starts tapping into the emotions, getting depressed, feeling like there's no hope, or some people start envisaging themselves in wheelchairs. That's some people said that to me. Some people are even suicidal over their condition, that they don't see an option out, or this is their life, is it? A lot of people like that. That may be you. You can't go anywhere, you can't stand up, you can't walk around without any pain. You're cancelling holidays, you're cancelling social events, you're even just going for a coffee because you can't take the pain, you can't stand, what you've got to deal, to go shopping, to meet up with a friend, to go down steps, to get on the plane, it's just too much. So you end up cancelling things or just adjusting your life because of it. Adjusting your activities that you had planned. You can't even plan anything. You've already spent so much money trying to fix this, but nothing's worked. A lot of people have bought special chairs or vibrating machines, or had multiple chiropractic sessions, massages, specialists, consultants, all sorts of things. People have spent a lot of money by the time they've had it for many months or years, typically. So who am I? Who the hell am I? I'm Althea, and some of you already know me. For those who don't, or perhaps you don't know this bits of me, I help women suffering long-term or chronic skeletal muscular back pain who are ready to be rid of it, to be pain-free, finally get it sorted and have it gone. And with over 30 years experience as a natural therapist, I've created a program that gets you pain-free without medication or surgery, to get incredible results within as little as 90 days. And it's even better than that. You will see. So what I've discovered it was over 30 years now I've been a natural therapist, that I discovered something about just over 20 years ago. All this knowledge and experience and working with many, many people, seeing how we respond, I came to an understanding and realization about how healing works, and it was miraculous. And now I've developed it into a easy 3-step process called the Pain-Free Method. And I've helped many, many people around the world be pain-free, get their lives back. So what am I here to help you to do? Exactly the same, to get rid of the pain today, to start changing. And some people say, well, I don't have pain. What do you mean? You know, what if I've got this and what if I've got that? Well, I use pain as a coverall word because it's sort of, it's thing not wanted, that's uncomfortable. It may be severe pain for you or some level of pain, but many people have things like um, they have insomnia or anxiety or perhaps even phobias. They may have been through traumas and get triggered by things. So fears. Some people can't go out. They feel very agoraphobic. Or so it can be a number of things. So pain is really a cover-all word. But I specialize in taking people through from physical conditions. That's my kind of my joy and my passion. But the method has been proven to work for all the other methods, the symptoms that I've mentioned. So get rid of it, get rid of those symptoms, get rid of that pain, to understand where it's coming from. And this is a critical factor of being pain-free, and it's something you'll be able to explore in the free guide, if you get the free guide at the end. Knowing where it's come from, the reason your body is doing it, this is a critical factor of stopping the pain returning or the symptoms returning. And make sure it never comes back. So once you have nipped it in the buds and cleared the reason it's there, the root cause, then it can't come back. It's not going to come back. It's finished. Your body's not against you. It works in harmony with you. So once you've released the reason it's there and the pain itself, the condition itself, then it won't come back. It can't. There's nothing for it to come back for. There's no reason for it to be there. So this is Lee, and just to show you, kind of showing you that Lee was one of the first people I took through my program, the PainFree program, and that was in 2016, and it's never come back. She had horrendous nerve pain.
I experienced pain that I have never experienced before in my life, and I started to get these painful attacks in my face, and I went to the doctors and was diagnosed with trigeminal neuralgia, and there's a nerve that runs through supplying your face in 3 branches and then goes down your neck. And some people, I'd read about some people's experience of one of the branches being inflamed and them feeling immense pain, but I was experiencing all the branches being inflamed at the same time. So my face would swell up, it would be very red, it affected my teeth and my gums, I could hardly open my mouth. I'd wake up in the morning, and if I had an attack that began in the night, I couldn't get out of bed, I couldn't cry, it was so painful to even cry, I couldn't drink, I couldn't eat, I couldn't plan my day, I wasn't being a good mum to my children, and felt trapped by the pain. My life came to a standstill. 6 months later, I lost my mum very suddenly, and again the attacks came back with a vengeance, and now they weren't lasting hours or days, they had moved on to lasting for weeks, and one attack lasting 3 weeks, which left me in a position of feeling suicidal and totally debilitating, and drained me of all my energy. I felt like I was being wasted down to a nothing. You know, that the most I could ever do was cry, and even that was hugely painful. I went to the GP, and all they could offer was a really sort of heavy-duty pharmaceutical drug, which was numbed my entire being and made me so drowsy that I couldn't function properly. And I knew that it felt wrong. It didn't feel like a solution, and I certainly didn't want to live like that, because it wasn't living. I knew that I wasn't addressing the root cause. There was something inside of me that just knew that this wasn't the solution, it wasn't an answer, and it wasn't going to get better if I went down that route. Got in touch with Althea, that our paths crossed, and I am eternally grateful and so appreciative that we found each other, and that I was really ready to make a change in my life, and I wanted rid of this pain. I've been putting in, fighting and resisting pain that was surfacing, to no avail. That there is another way. If you're in pain right now and you have found Althea too, and you're contemplating whether to work with her, I would say, ask yourself, are you really ready for change? Have you absolutely reached your limit and definitely know that you want life to be different? Then make that step.
Okay, and that was Lee. She was one of the first people I took through the program. There's something she said that is really critical, that to be pain-free, you have to be ready. You have to reach that point that you've had enough, that you are ready to let that pain go. And I can guide you all the way from there, but it's up, I can't make you do anything. And you have to feel like that's it, it's enough, to be ready. And then, world's your oyster, then you can be free of it. So let's talk about the actual healing. How does it actually work? So there are 3 key golden rules. There are actually several golden rules, quite a few, but it's something you'll be learning in the program if you go ahead. But there are 3 critical golden rules that are extremely important. Never, 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 never ignore your pain. Never ignore your pain. Now, typically, one client said to me, she showed me a leaflet from the NHS. And the NHS leaflet said, try not to think about it, do something else, distract yourself. But in my 30 years of experience of teaching people how to be pain-free, this is the opposite of being pain-free. So what do I mean by that? So say you're hungry and you have a message that you're hungry. If you ignore your hunger message, it's not going to go away, is it? You're going to get weaker. You might get lightheaded. You might get more growls in your tummy. You might get dizzy. You might get drop things or whatever, dizzy. So your message, I call these all messages. They're signals from the body. The message will get louder because it needs something from you, and your pain or condition is exactly the same. I know it's an unusual thing, isn't it? It's something you don't want, but it's exactly the same as every other message in your body. Your body doesn't think, it just functions as a body. It's hungry, it asks you for food. You get those messages and you eat. Job done, message gone. It's exactly the same with your pain. You mustn't never ignore your pain, your message of your pain, because it will get worse. And most people I know, my clients, they have, if you've been suffering for months or years, it's very, very likely you've got more than one thing. You might have started with a niggle or something. You might have started with a stress or an irritation or something that was relatively mild, but it will get worse because these are your messages of your body. We're taught typically, not just the NHS, but typically stiff upper lip, or get on with it, or I can get through this, or I can control it or manage it. We get taught this stuff, but it doesn't work. It's the opposite of healing. So a magical key I'd like to give to you right now is never ignore your pain. Pay attention to it immediately, or it will get worse. Here's the second golden rule that I just mentioned, that understand that it's a message that needs to be heard. So if you get hungry and you eat, job done, right? Message gone. Gone. That's exactly the same for your pain. So when you do the correct things, when you listen to your pain, you connect to your pain, you listen to the message of what you're telling yourself in a physical or emotional, mental or life stress way, the message, when you listen, it gets heard, it goes away automatically. I'm going to show you some examples of that because I'm sure you don't believe me, but it does. So the third golden rule is that in order for pain to release, your normal instincts won't serve you. So it's a little bit of what I was just saying already, that we're taught to push on through, to manage, to cope, to ignore it. Other people are better, worse off than us, these kind of things, and push on through. But this is not healing. This is the opposite of healing, and guarantees you that it will not go away. It can't. If you have a message, if someone's knocking at the door and you think, oh, who's that? I wonder who that is. Knock, knock, knock. Well, it might be the postman, or wonder it's somebody horrible, or maybe it's the neighbor. Knock, knock, knock. Knock, knock, knock. Knock, knock. How do you know? How do you know who it is unless you answer the door? Right? So your message is exactly the same. Your pain, your condition, your symptoms are a message to you, a physical or emotional, mental message to you to answer the door. Answer the door. And that's what the PainFree Method gives you. What do you do to have it gone? To listen, to do the right things to get it gone. So here's Rose. Now Rose is a nurse. She was doing all the things that we're taught. She was taking very strong painkillers, tramadol, morphine, that just knocked her out and made her sleepy for a day and not functioning. And she she bought a vibration plate that she put her feet. She had cold, painful feet for 9 months. 9 months. She didn't believe I could help her. She didn't believe anything could get rid of it. She came to me, like a lot of people, I think, in desperation, have tried everything. Nothing's worked. She put warm socks on at night, every night. She had a warm bath every night. The only thing that had any effect at all was this vibration plate that helped a bit, she said, helped a bit. But it didn't, once she stopped using this machine, the pain came straight back. Well, she came to me, she found me, and I took her through the method. Within the first 10 minutes, she had warm, toasty feet. And the rest of the session, it was very funny, wonderful, and very funny that all the way through I was carrying on teaching and showing her, and I could see she's in shock. And she kept saying, but my feet are warm and toasty, but they're warm and toasty, and my feet are warm. So that's a nurse. So even a nurse, with all her training and knowledge, I think it was 17 years she'd been a nurse. Cold, painful feet, tingling, painful feet, constant pain, and it was gone in 10 minutes. That's how quick. When you do the correct things, your body reacts automatically. Automatically. If you've got a bit of dust in your eye, you automatically start paying attention to it, don't you? You don't leave it till next week or 9 months, do you? Your body reacts immediately. You feel it, you do the right actions, you put some water or you do whatever to clear it, and you clear it. Your body reacts immediately. Your body doesn't think, it reacts immediately. That's what you get with PainFree Method. So we typically, like Rose, like many of us, like me before I knew about this stuff, we go to the doctors when things get bad enough. You can't sort it out yourself. Maybe you try some natural things, maybe you try some things yourself, but typically it gets to a point that we go to the doctors because we need help. Here's Linda. She came to me in November, and she had also a building. She had a very tough physical building, a lifting job, very hard, heavy lifting job, and her back progressively got worse and worse and worse over the years, to the point that she couldn't move. She couldn't move. She's in so much pain that she called the doctor. So it was progressive. Like many of us, we let things, it's my job. Oh, I've got a standing job. I've got to stand on my feet, Althea. I've got to work at this thing 10 hours a day. And, we have a physical thing. It might be an emotional reason why you've got your thing. It might be hereditary. It might be it's developed over some time for you for some reason. So Linda, she got to the point that for her it built up as well, her back pain. She went to the doctors and he sent her straight to hospital in an ambulance. She spent a week in hospital. She said that it was a waste of time, that they did lots and lots of tests on her, MRI scans, CT scans, blood tests, all the tests, and they sent her home telling her what she'd got, back pain. She had a diagnosis now, at least, osteoarthritis and crumbling spine. They sent her home with painkillers, also tramadol and morphine. She came home to carers cooking a dinner and making a tea. She had steps put in the kitchen, in the bathroom to help her, and a walker. And she was extremely depressed. She saw a future of, well, is that it? A tough, able woman and very capable in her life. And here she was looking at a future of, what the hell is that? What kind of future she got? So she found me. I started to take her through the sessions, and she couldn't walk. She couldn't walk. She'd been through all that, and that's the state she was in. The next day she was walking. The next day, just like Rose, 9 months of Rose painful feet gone in 10 minutes. And here's Linda. She couldn't walk. You'll see a picture of her in a moment, and she keeps calling me a witch. And when you do the correct things, your body responds automatically. Your body doesn't care about your emotions. Your body doesn't care about your thoughts. Your body doesn't care about what you've been through. It reacts automatically, immediately, constantly, and it never changes. That's what happens all the time. Linda was walking the next day. What kind of life would she have gone on from there? you know, the next day. So the reason that you've not healed so far, despite trying everything, like many people try all sorts of things, natural ways, mainstream ways, one of the reasons is that you don't believe you can, or that you haven't been taught to. As I was saying, you know, we're not taught typically in this country. I remember going to Japan on the plane, and on the plane, they were teaching us, I don't know if you've been there, but they were teaching us all these sort of press points to not get deep vein thrombosis. And I thought, gosh, this is amazing. You know, they're really into natural ways. And at the time, I'd been studying shiatsu and acupressure and Chinese massage and all that sort of thing. And I thought, this is great, showing Joe Public how to do it, how to stop getting, you know, DVT. And but in this country, if you are in England, typically we're not. We go to the doctors, and doctor knows best. But then what happens if he doesn't know best? If they don't know best? If you're suffering for 9 months or progressive pain or symptoms that are getting worse, well, then what? So, you know, it's not your fault. It's just we're born in this country, and this is the way that we understand our bodies. Perhaps you don't believe you can. Maybe you feel it's hereditary and it's inevitable you're going to get your thing. Maybe you've been told there's no cure. Maybe you've been told how old you are. This is what you get with this age. This is, you get arthritis or whatever it is that you're suffering. We're told that, well, it's normal for your age, and learn to live with it, and here's the meds for the rest of your life. This is a typical situation that people who come to me are in. They're told these things. So here's Linda, the same Linda, and she didn't believe that it would work for her. I had to do a lot of, no, come on, Linda, I can help you. And so she was walking the next day. She says, boy, was I wrong. She's walking, she's happy now, she's laughing. You can't stop the girl, she's off down the road. She went off down the road without her slippers, without her shoes on the other day. She's got such fantastic gusto of energy. And when I started with her, I said to her, what do you want? One of the first things I'll ask is, what's the end results? What do you want? And she said she wanted to go walking, long walks, and out into the parks and things. And I said, okay. And one of the criteria was it had to be a nice sunny day, warm sunny day. Okay, that was on the list. Well, she didn't wait for the warm sunny day. She was ready, and off she went without her shoes on. She just had her slippers, and just realized she had her slippers on. So, you know, when you are pain-free, your energy will naturally rise. You'll start naturally pinging back to you again. And that would be a step 3 thing, which I'll explain in a moment. Coming back to you, you'll just naturally ping back, because you'll be pain-free, you'll feel better. So here's what you need to know. Physical pain is a signal of something deeper. So by the time you have physical or emotional, or like anxiety or worries or stress, or you've been through trauma or something, it's like the tip of the iceberg. It's the end result of what's created it. Even if it's like Linda, who had a heavy lifting, heavy job, physical job, that it developed over years, you know, it's still that development, all that heavy lifting, there's a lot more to it than that, but that's a sort of essence of it, isn't it, that it developed from that. But for everybody, there's a deeper meaning to it. It's like the end product is what you're experiencing now, is the end of the line thing of what's created it, of something deeper. So surface level solutions only work to a certain point, and that's why. So when we, typically in this country, we are told to put a cream on it, or take medication for it, or do some yoga, or get a massage, or eat well, or get some exercise. We're told to do these things, and many of these things can be really great, but they cannot get rid of the actual problem itself, because that's not where it's coming from. You see that? You know, so somebody gets stressed, for example, and their muscles get tight. If that person then goes and has lots of massages and yoga and deep breathing or whatever, it'll definitely help. It's bound to help, but it won't stop the tension, won't stop the muscles getting tight. The tension of the muscles is coming from the stress situation, whatever that is. So unless that person addresses, yes, of course, the tight muscles to make them feel better, but the original cause, the root cause, it won't go away. And if you do manage to get it to go, it will pop up in another way. It'll pop up through your emotions. It'll pop up through more physical things. it'll pop up. It's a message, remember, it's a message. It needs to be heard and understood, and do the correct actions to make it go. That's why doing multiple things can't work. It's just like a plaster. It's a quick fix. And the fact that you're sitting here watching this tells me that, you know, you may have tried lots of things and it doesn't work. You've got evidence it doesn't work. There's another reason why it won't go, and this is the step 2 thing. This is a critical factor. I'll talk about the steps in a moment. There's a story that you're holding on to by no fault of your own. We're human, you're human. It's what we do. Like that stressed person example, they're stressed for whatever reason. Maybe they don't get on at work. Maybe they hate their boss. Maybe they are not getting on with their partner. Maybe they are not happy within themselves for some reason. Maybe life circumstances are too stressful right now. Whatever it is, there's some kind of story. There's always a story. Your body doesn't do something for nothing. It doesn't do something for nothing. Even if, you know, you get sick or something, you've eaten something. So your body doesn't just get sick. It does it because you've eaten something awful, poisonous or whatever. So your body does something for a clear reason. So it may be that those reasons, there are reasons and story within you. For example, one lady, Marlena, she came to me with hip pain. She had lots of other things, but hip pain was the main thing. And everybody's different, everyone's unique. But for her, she was 5 years old when her parents divorced. So that happens to some people. And there it is. But for a 5-year-old, little 5-year-old girl, baby, there's her world cracking, you know, her world changing. Not only that, of course, because then she has all the, she went through all the process of her parents splitting, arguments and games and all sorts of things, and she had to go and live with her grandparents, a whole shift, a whole world changed. So that little darling 5-year-old baby has all this inner experience, and as a woman, years later, she's 50s now, when she came to me, she is a bit of a hoarder. She can't get on with her cleaning up in the house, so it gets her down. She is having troubles at work. She's a wonderful person, like we all are, but she's having troubles at work. I won't go into details, but troubles at work. Her hip was giving her problems. So as she became pain-free with my method, it releases all these different reasons it's there, all the inner story, and that's why the pain goes. So you may be holding on to a story yourself. Maybe you know what it is, maybe you don't know what it is. And it doesn't matter how much you try to heal the physical symptoms or the emotional, the mental state that you feel, unless the root cause, unless the story is addressed, the pain cannot go. It can't. Does that make sense? You have to have all the pieces holistic. That's why, you know, natural remedies are typically called holistic, whole story remedy, holistic. It's the whole of you, all your feelings, your not just your physical body. But this is the way we're taught, and all these people too, and many, many more. These are just some of the people who've also come off their meds. If you've had it forever, even if you've been told there's no cure and you're going to have pain meds for the rest of your life, I can promise you, you know, all these people and multiple people around the world, they take people through it. And I love when people first come to me, because they're usually very bit skeptical and not quite sure if it's going to work for them. And then it does, like Linda, who's walking the next day, and Rose, the nurse, who 9 months and 10 minutes is gone, the painful feet, like Jocelyn, like all of these people came off their pain med. You know, the body doesn't think, you see. The body, when you do the correct thing, the body reacts automatically. It doesn't ask you why or what or how. It just gets on with it, like the speck in your eye, you know. When you do the right things and wash your eye out and the dust is gone, the body will start coming back to normal, and you've forgotten about it. And it's the same for any condition, no matter how bad it is. I don't tell anybody to come off your meds. That's up to you. That's your decision between you and your doctor, or you and yourself. But what I know is that when you get pain-free and you don't have your symptoms anymore, you just naturally won't want them. And people are always telling me, oh, I've come off this, I've come off that, which is just fabulous. I'm not a medic, so I don't advise on any of that. I teach you how to be pain-free or symptom-free. So here we go. Let me introduce you finally to the powerful 3 steps of healing process that take you from pain to pain-free for good. The PainFree Method. So the PainFree Method, I mentioned that I've been a natural therapist for over 30 years, working mostly in clinics over the years, and I worked with hundreds of people by now. The PainFree Method, I had this, the knowledge and the experience kind of clicked together, and I discovered something so powerful that it was the beginning of, this is the PainFree Method, and I've now developed it into an easy 3-step process that anybody can do, even if you think you can't, even if you've had your thing forever. So this is Julie I mentioned, so let's talk for herself.
How were you feeling when you just started? Really tense and in a lot of pain. And where was it? In my shoulders and going down on my left side of my spine. Okay, and is this something that you have every day or just now, or what? Yeah, it's been happening for quite a while. I carry a lot of stress and tension in my shoulders. Yeah. So, and what do you normally do to get rid of it and help yourself? Take painkillers, try a few stretches, and it never works. And it never works? No. And you mentioned physio. The physio was giving information about that. Yeah. And what happened with the physio? Well, he massaged it, and I did feel the initial relief, but then my muscles just feel bruised because he massaged them for me, so they feel quite bruised and quite tender and sore. Okay, so an initial relief, but then the bruising was worse. And how long have you had this discomfort, this pain? I would say since my 20s. Since your 20s? Yeah. And may I ask how old are you now? 53. So a good few years of pain and tension. And so it's all in your back now, your shoulders, and goes down my neck. Yeah. And if it could say a number between 1 and 10, what was the number when we just started just now? 8. 8 out of 10. Yeah. Tension and pain. Is that right? And then it just disappeared. It just evaporated. That's the only. Yeah, that's the only way I can explain it. Magical. Your body's magical, isn't it? So what normally would you have done? Just ignored it. Thought, I got to carry on working. Yeah. Just took some painkillers or some ibuprofen. Yeah, and so has this ever happened before? Just not evaporated? No. The take from going from an 8 out of 10 to what? To evaporation. What was the time span of that? Just a couple of minutes. Yeah. Just a couple of minutes. Would you have thought that's possible before? No. We're being in pain, fed up with taking painkillers. After a while they don't work. Yeah. This is an ongoing problem. I've been to physiotherapy. I've done back exercises, and just nothing's worked. Just nothing. And just my PainFree Method, 2 minutes. And evaporation. Yeah, I've gone from an 8 to maybe a 1 or a 2. What would you say to them who are perhaps in the same situation, in pain, try medication, try physio, have an 8 out of 10 or more? What would you say to them? Just try it, give it a go. Keep an open mind. Don't think, this isn't going to work. Just try it.
Yeah, keep an open mind, because this may be something new to you. So what's the first step? The first step is all about releasing the pain, and how do you do that? So in the Pain to Pain-Free program, there are 3 steps, and this is the first major step. You learn from day 1 how to be pain-free, how to release the pain. What do you do to do that? And I take you through, how do you do that? How do you connect to the pain so that it goes? The second step is to keep pain away, and this is addressing the root cause and creating support for your body so your body can heal properly. To do those things, this is all step 2. And what do you need to be doing regularly to keep the pain away, to help the body to do its lovely healing job? Your body knows how to heal. How do you help it? So that would be step 2, and that stops the pain developing. Many times people say it's got worse. So how do you stop it getting worse? That would be step 2. And step 3 is getting back you, returning to you. So when we have something for a long time, it can start grating on us. It starts affecting how we behave, choices we make, like going out for the coffee, or doing the things we want, or just going shopping, or just putting the washing in, you know. It starts to affect us emotionally. It affects our thoughts. Perhaps you're sharing what you're experiencing with others, with your loved one. Maybe it's having a knock-on effect on your relationships. So it's not just physical, is it? It affects us through and through and through in our lives. So step 3 is all about getting back you. Who are you, pain-free? You know, what is that? What is your state of you? Who are you, pain-free? And step 3 is all about that. It's very important to kind of, you know, solidify, get that you back on center, so you stop things happening to you. You stop the triggers, or maybe if you've been through trauma, you stop those things affecting you. They can't, because you're strong and center. You're strong and center. So that's step 3. So this is my promise to you. The PainFree Method is how to clear the chronic physical, skeletal, muscular back pain without any pain meds or operations, and to be permanently pain-free. It doesn't come back. Like Lee, 2016, she's never had that nerve pain back again. Like everybody. And this is your invitation today to join the Pain to Pain-Free 90-day program, which is where you'll learn the pain-free methods through the program to get pain-free in as little as 90 days. And it's designed to take you from chronic physical pain or condition to clearing it for good. That's what you get with me. To get rid of the pain, to understand where it comes from. Why is your body doing that? Why are your emotions doing that? Why your thoughts are doing that? Why? The root cause, and to stop it returning. To get back to your life, enjoy pain-free life before pain. What was that? And be able to do the things that you want again. And many people say to me, I just want to be normal, Althea. You know, I want to put the dishes away and go out for a walk, or just go outside or something. Reach for the stars. What is it you want? To be pain-free, whatever it is you want. That's what you get. You get back to those things, even if you think it's impossible, but it's what you want. That's what I support you on and lead you to. And in the Pain to Pain-Free program, the very first thing you're going to learn is to be pain-free. The very first thing. Some people say to me, well, isn't the how to do it bit first? I said, no, get rid of the pain first. Isn't that what you want? So the very first thing I teach you that you're going to learn is how to get rid of the pain from day one. That's why it's so effective very, very quickly. Like Julie with the carer with 30 years of back pain, 2 minutes, do the correct things. So you'll learn the correct things to be pain-free or symptom-free from day one. So once you're symptom-free, you're going to be able to think straight and you'll feel better. So then it's time to get the real deeper healing, the lasting healing. And that's by going through the layers of what's creating the symptoms and pain in the first place. And you may know what some of those are. You may know all of the reasons that it's there, but okay, knowing it is one thing, but well, how do you release those things? How do you let those things go so that it doesn't come back? As you connect to the whole picture of why you're suffering, the pain and the problems will disappear. Evaporate, as Julie said. Loved it, evaporate. So you go through the layers of the onion and they don't come back. Once they're released, that's it. Your pain will stop. It doesn't come back. It's gone. So what you get to learn to get rid of the pain. You nip it in the bud as you experience it, or condition, pain or condition. You will know exactly where it's coming from, so you can do something about it. You'll realize the patterns that you're doing that's leading to your problems, so you can make different decisions. And there's no blame here, there's no criticism here, it's just we're human. We do this, we do these things, we have patterns, we get triggers. We get affected by this and that. It's just normal. But when it comes to the point that you get physical pain, then what do? That's when you can do something like the PainFree Method and understand why you're suffering, why your body's doing that, and you can make changes. So then can you see you're getting a deeper level of change, a deeper level of healing, so it can't come back. There's no reason for it to come back. Do you get that? Do you get that? So the third part is to make sure it never comes back. And as I said, it's getting back you, the pain-free you. Once you've gone through the release of things, you know what you're doing. You nip it in the bud when you feel discomfort immediately. You know why it's there, so you can address that immediately. And then it can't come back. You create the person that you want to be. So these things can't come back. So how is it delivered, this pain-free program, pain to pain-free program? What happens here? Well, there are two ways that you can do the pain to pain-free program. The first way is to do one-to-one. Now, this isn't for everybody, but what we do is we'd be like this on a private call that is recorded. So you keep all your recordings, you can listen back to everything. And we have 12 calls together, and I guide you from day one. You will learn to be pain-free or symptom-free from day one. You'll know exactly what to be practicing, what to do, like Julie with the carer in 2 minutes, and Rose, the nurse, in 10 minutes. Some people it takes a little bit longer to kind of get it working. So Linda Harding couldn't walk, and she's walking the next day. Sometimes pain is really stubborn, so there might be a story in there, and that takes time to kind of come to you, to connect to you. It may be difficult for you, that may take time, but the healing effects are from day one, from the first call. So what you get on the one-to-one, you get 12 calls with me, over one call a week, and we check in with each other, what's going on. We have contact with each other if you have questions, you're not quite sure what to do, in between the calls as well. So you're really going to get this, and you can't go wrong, because I'm there with you. I'm with you, supporting you, guiding you, making sure you're doing the correct actions. Now the method is very, very simple, but it's easy to get it wrong. So here I am in the one-to-one, guiding you and supporting you to get it correct from all the way along, to support you when you are addressing, when things do come up, and they will. Things do come up. Your blocks will come up. Your resistance will come up. You also get bespoke essential oils, which will really enhance and help you to heal without even thinking about it. So you can use these oils. You don't have to use these oils. They are an addition to the pain-free method. The pain-free method gets you pain-free, but these things are lovely. I love using oils, and I really encourage you to use them too. And in the one-to-one, you get every call, you get bespoke oils to help you with whatever you're dealing with that week. To maximize your healing. And you also get personalized bespoke flower essences. I don't know if you know flower essences. They're the same kind of things as back flower remedies or Australian bush flower remedies. And again, they're utilizing the energy of the plant to help us in ourselves emotionally, mentally, physically. They really enhance and maximize your healing while you're going through the process of pain release. You also, in the one-to-one, you are supported if you'd like to be in. There's a group support also, a group program, and the one-to-one includes this. So you can watch other people go through the process of being pain-free, which is really useful to watch how it's done, and to get support within the group. So this is in addition to the one-to-one. Obviously, the one-to-one is a little higher in price than the group. So, it's not for everybody, but it's here is the group. So if you may choose to do the group instead, and it's just as beneficial, you'll still get pain-free, but it's learning the pain-free method as a group rather than privately one-to-one. And in the group, it's very supportive. As I said, everybody there is learning the method just like you. You learn the methods on your own on an online platform, and you take yourself through at your own pace through the process of pain-free. And then you come into the Facebook group, is where I support you and guide you, answer all your questions in a private, exclusive Facebook group. No one's in there except for learning this method, and where I support you and help you as you go through the pain-free method, as you go through the process. You'll also get within the group, you can ask questions anytime you need to, and I'll support you every step of the way. And you also get 2 live Zoom calls where you come on the call one at a time. So I'll take you through your personal journey and guide you, make sure you're doing the correct things that get you the maximum effects. Make sure you know what's the next step, what you need to be doing this week, and what you need to be doing today. And I actually guide you through the process of being pain-free. So it's very, very supported. So here are just some of the many people that I've already taken through the pain-free program, and they have become pain-free. And they've become medication-free, operation-free. They've not had to go forward with operations. Do the right things, and your body will respond. Many times people say, "Well, how can you cure this thing, Althea? How can you? My thing is bone on bone. How can you cure this?" Well, actually, I don't cure anything at all. Your body does it, but I show you how to have your body do that, how to allow your body to heal. That's what I do for you. And this is what, when you do the correct things, your body responds. Get your life back. Here's Debbie again, Deborah, with migraines all gone. Sarah. This lady had period problems again, knees and ankles. She had problems with her ankles. She became pain-free and all the swelling went down on her knees very, very quickly. Feeling's not a mind thing, it's a connect to the feeling thing. And that's why it can be so unbelievable, because it's not believable, that's the mind thinking. But healing is a connect to the feeling. And that's why things are so rapid to have change. Not that it's difficult, it's just that we don't know, we don't do it. We just don't do it. So what is the next step? The next step for you is to book a consultation with me, to have a private call with me to discuss your particular details about what you're suffering. And so I can understand exactly what it is and if I can help you, because this method is not for everybody, of course, like everything. It's really important that we're a good match. It's really important that you're ready and open, ready to start healing, as Lee said with the nerve pain. And you can be pain-free today, like all the rest of them. You know, you'll start being symptom or pain-free the moment you start doing this. It does take time to go through the process of release, as I mentioned about the story, but the effects you're going to feel are from day one. Even if it's really stubborn, even if you've had it for a long, long time, or you're very doubtful, you know, you've been told there's no cure and things, you start to get the relief from day one. Some people talk about, you know, well, the price of things. Well, what is the price of things? So the group program is £497, English pounds, and some of you might think, well, that's quite a lot of money, but is it? Is it a lot of money? And that's for the 3-month program of to be pain-free and have it gone for good. And you may have had your thing for a long time. Maybe, you know, if you look at how much have you spent so far and all this time on helping yourself, how much time have you spent on perhaps you've cancelled appointments or made different decisions or have to do things in a certain way because of your symptoms that you're suffering. You know, that's a real cost there. How much has it cost you to be in pain for all this time? What's that? And the price of things too. You know, Martin, he bought a £1,000 chair to be more comfortable. He had to get it specially fitted to his lorry. He drove lorries. He's had many chiropractic sessions, and each one is say it's like £50 each. That would have been however many he'd had of those. You know, perhaps it's twice a month or something. He's been in pain for 30 years. 30 years. He's been living off painkillers like many people. Had this special chair, been to many chiropractic sessions, to massages. That all tots up. This is £500, just under £500 for 3 months, and you're going to be pain-free starting from day one. And the one-to-one is a little bit more, and obviously, you know, it's a bespoke program. It's exactly the same program, but we'll be working privately one-to-one, and you'll have me there all the way through 3 months. And that's in addition. You have the group program, so you can dip into the group if you want to. You don't have to. You have full access to the whole program. So the price is a little bit different, a little bit more, but we'll talk about the details of that when you come and have a consultation with me, and we'll thrash it out, look at all the details and see what is right for you. It's natural to be a little bit skeptical, but I hope that everybody is skeptical when they first come to me, not quite sure if it's going to work for them. But then as soon as you start getting in the results, this is going to let go of your fears or your worries or your concerns, because you'll have the evidence, you'll have the results, you'll start feeling the results straight away. And hopefully that will reassure you because you'll be getting pain free. So these are the options. The next step would be to book a consultation. And my gift to you, I promised you a gift at the beginning of the pain-free e-guide. So if you would like that pain-free e-guide, please drop me a line, drop me an email and say, yes, please, free e-guide. So I talked about the process of the key actions to get pain-free. And a very critical factor in the beginning of being pain-free or symptom-free is to understand why it's there, what it's doing there, how to understand things in the correct way. So going forward, you're in the right mindset to be pain-free. It's very, very important to understand things correctly. If you're wanting a quick fix and make this thing go away, it can't go away, because you have, as I was mentioning, you have to address the reason it's there, the whole holistic, the whole of you. So understanding these kind of things, and specifically why you're suffering those particular symptoms in that part of your body, this guide is going to give you highlight onto why are the reasons, to understand why you're suffering those conditions and those symptoms. So let me know if you want that free gift. You're very welcome. It'll give you the first important insights to how to be pain-free, the first step on your healing journey. And yeah, to start being pain-free. And literally, when you start the program, you will have access to the full program, whether you work one-to-one or in the group with me, and know how to start healing from day one. So you'll start to feel relief from day one.